The longbow. The first time the longbow was used on a major scale was the 100 Years' War, and it could shoot up to 600 feet, which was very far for its time. Odds were against the English in the 100 Years' War. However, thanks for the longbow and its skilled archers, the English prevailed. The wood of a longbow is carefully crafted from an English yew tree. The wood from an English yew tree is the best European wood for bows since it is strong, lightweight, and quite elastic. When the French were having success, they would go to the English archers and cut their middle fingers off so they couldn't use the bow anymore. However, when the French were losing, the English would raise their middle finger to taunt them because the French weren't able to cut it off. Overall, I believe that when compared to the other technology of its time, the longbow was a very versatile and deadly weapon, and made it so warfare will forever be deadlier due to long range and accuracy. The rifled musket. The rifled musket was first used in the Crimean War, and since it was rifled, that substantially increased its accuracy and effective range, going from about 300 feet to about 900 feet. If lucky, you could hit a person-sized target from about 1,500 feet away, but it isn't possible to guarantee that you hit your target. Since the Russians did not have rifled muskets, and the British did, the Russians were at a great disadvantage since the British had better accuracy and longer range. Even though it wasn't used in war, Frederick Prince designed a breech-loading action that was more useful than the standard muzzle-loading system. And many people mistake muskets with rifles. The definition of a musket is a muzzle-loaded longbow. There is a gray area, however, where there is a mix between a rifle and a musket. This is why it is called a rifled musket. Overall, I would have to say that the rifled musket had a similar effect on war as the longbow, since it enhances the same features, which are long range and accuracy. The machine gun. The machine gun was World War I's most infamous weapon, and were not very accurate. However, they could shoot up to 450 to 600 rounds per minute, so they didn't need to be accurate. All a soldier had to do while manning the machine gun is point in the general direction of an enemy soldier, and they will fall. Using a machine gun in World War I is comparable to using a scythe while cutting wheat. On July 1st, during the Battle of the Somme, just with machine guns, more than 20,000 British men were killed. Many people speculated that the machine gun would replace the rifle because of its ability to continuously spray the enemy with bullets. If I were to inquire, the machine gun changed warfare for the worst because of how lethal it is and how little of a chance you have of surviving if you went face to face with one. The atomic bomb. Little Boy was the first of 2 atomic bombs to be dropped onto Japan in World War II, and it was extremely lethal, causing 130,000 deaths on impact. Not to mention all of the people that died of radiation sickness in the following months. For scale, 2,403 people died in Pearl Harbor. That's more than 50 times the amount of deaths in Pearl Harbor. That's some hardcore revenge if I've ever heard of it. A fact that really disturbs me is the inefficiency of the bomb. It is estimated that only 1.38% of the uranium bomb exploded during the process. Now I know what you're thinking. How did only 1.38% of a radioactive bomb blow up? Well, there's a process called nuclear fission, where one atom is split, causing protons and neutrons to get fired outwards in all directions. If we follow the path of, let's say, a neutron, it will eventually hit another atom and cause it to split. This process is so fast and so powerful that an explosion created could have been more than 70 times more powerful than it was. If so, that could have been over 9 million deaths, which is comparable to 1/4 of the First World War. And that's not including the other atomic bomb that was dropped, Fat Man, which killed about the same number of people. Some raw statistics that may shock you is the size and weight of this thing. Little Boy isn't so little, standing about 10 feet tall, 2¼ feet in diameter, and weighing in at 9,700 pounds. Overall, this weapon of mass destruction was sort of similar to the machine gun, in that you don't have to be accurate since the bomb will destroy everything within eyesight. Obviously, this weapon changed war, and even the world, forever. I would say for the worse, since it kills so many people and can wipe out an entire civilian city in seconds.